evening, good morning to our online viewers. Welcome to the second evening of the new Earth Frequency Ibiza Activation. We are continuing conversations with Rob Gauthier, the ET Whisperer. There are some of you that were here last night, and there's new faces here that didn't get to hear Rob's story of how he became a channel. It was such a fantastic interview with Pulyak Marty about how he became a channel and the energies that he started to bring through and how that all began for him. And then we had the privilege of speaking to two of the three main ET energies that Rob tends to bring through and work with, your guides, Aradef and Treb. I won't say Treb's full name. Treb.
Treb,
you want to
yeah.
say?
That's why it was
Treb.
Treb.
And tonight, hopefully, we have the privilege of speaking to the third energy, which is Metatron, which sounds like a transformer, but it is an archangel, it is of the 12th dimension, something like that.
Yeah.
Rob's going to explain that. And hopefully learn, well, first of all, a little bit about Metatron, Rob, and then bring Metatron through, and then we will facilitate a dialogue with all of you with your burning questions. I've spoken to all of you, and you've all said you've got burning questions, right? So we're going to be passing the mic out, and also anyone online as well, just pop the questions in the chat, and I'm going to get them sent through to me so I can ask on your behalf. So Rob, thank you again for your time. It's so wonderful to have you here in person in Ibiza. So tell us to continue conversations. Tell us about Metatron and who Metatron is.
Yeah, it's a big question. If we simplify it, he's on a creative level for the Earth. So his energy is part of the actual creative forces that work on Earth. There's a lot of ways to classify it, you know, matrices, dimensions, all sorts of cool words that some use to describe it. But if you're looking at the most simple way, it's like the highest level of consciousness available in Earth besides the Earth. So it's a really, really big part. And, you know, I channel just a little tiny speck of that energy because it's too big for one person to channel, really.
Yeah, and you said yesterday that when you channel Metatron, you sort of have to go into a deeper level of trance? And then you said to me, not yesterday, but in our conversations, that actually sometimes when you do channel Metatron, it sort of takes it out of you a little bit more.
Yeah, it's a different thing. Treb and Aradef are pretty easy for me. I've worked with them for so long, and you know, for example, if I've channeled 100,000 times, then 99.9% of that would be Treb and Aradef. The other is Metatron, and the reason I don't channel them is it's a bigger energy. It does take a little more out of me, but it also pushes my energy forward a lot. And through my life, I haven't really wanted to get pushed too far for too much. So
yeah, and just for those that weren't here yesterday, Rob was explaining that when he channels Metatron, something major, it kind of propels him forward, and if his family, for example, aren't ready to go on that journey with him, he doesn't want to leave them behind. So you were saying yesterday you've tended to, or sometimes avoided bringing that energy through for that reason. And do you communicate with Metatron telepathically as well?
No. I haven't worked as much with his energy, so I've never tried to do that. Right. I honestly, until you mentioned, I haven't even thought of that.
Right, but because Treb, when you first, before you were channeling Treb, you were talking, well, you met him telepathically, right? Would you describe that?
Yeah, like an astral state meditation type communication, yeah.
So really then you only discover Metatron's wisdom through looking back at the sort of videos and transmissions afterwards and going, okay.
Yeah, it's the only way I've been able to do that. Back when I first started, I did all my own editing on YouTube too, so I would be able to listen to it back while I was editing, and I was like, well, that's pretty deep, you know, pretty profound.
And what's kind of been the kind of major things that wisdom that Metatron has taught you?
Yeah, with Metatron, his focus has always been about what's happening here on Earth, what's happening in your life, And the aspect of Metatron that I channel mostly has to do with finding the center of yourself. And when he says finding the center, what he means is going into the heart and finding the personality self of you. Like the actual part of you that's uninhibited, that's not pushed on by other people or society. The part of you that you would be if you were left to your own devices with no one to tell you what you should think or what you should do. And getting back to that as a standard part of your living.
Yeah. So before we bring in Metatron, does anybody want to ask Rob a question directly about how he channels Metatron, or are you happy for him to get going with the show, shall we say? No one? We might be able to have time at the end as well. So is it fair to say that when we talk to Metatron that, because you call Metatron a he, but it's a they, it's not a masculine energy. Is it fair to ask that, kind of any issues relating to Earth and being human, they're kind of, that's kind of the realm that, rather than more galactical questions, or it's like any kind of question?
Yeah, he's answered some galactic questions before, mostly only if it pertained to Earth or something kind of happening in Earth right now. But he doesn't answer most of them that he's been asked. A lot of the people who followed my channeling for a long time when I started had only been used to galactic energies. So they would ask, and he's like, yeah, we don't care about it, or, we don't look into that energy. It's not a part of our excitement, or whatever, his explanation would be. But yeah, it's about living life on Earth and living life in life as we know it. Yeah.
Right. So we can sort of ask human questions, like everyday kind of questions as well. Okay. And how long does it take you to bring Metatron through?
Pretty close to the other.
Yep.
Like yesterday I got in maybe a minute or so. It's about that, maybe a little longer.
Okay. Shall we invite Metatron?
Yeah.
Thank you.
Let's do it, right? See you guys on the other side. That's what I always say, right? All right, here we go. Greetings and salutations. We are the Metatron. We understand the curiosity behind the question, what is a Metatron? Well, we will ask you a question first. What is a human? What is a you? It is a soul that's living as an individual expression, having a very individual experience. The Metatron energy is not an individual experience, it's a collective experience. When people ask how to work with our energy or how to connect with our energy, what we would tell them is to connect with yourself, and this is connecting with our energy. At a creative level, all the consciousnesses that are archangels, all of the consciousnesses that are higher realms are actually a part of your own consciousness. That's an inherent part. The energy inside of your own build, the physicality, the archetype, the DNA, the cellular structure, the geometric patterns that create physical structure, vibration that goes through those physical structures to give life to those structures, are all part of the inherent creative process. We are the process. We also have an identity, part of this projected by human consciousness, but also a part of our own energy perspectives. The energies that we're responsible for are multifaceted. There's a list longer than the time that you have to share with our own individual processes, other beings that humans would perceive as archangels. The Michael, Raphael energies, those all have similar archetypal layovers, but also very different archetypes, each individualized for their conscious collectives, and ours are overlapping in several ways. So this doesn't give you an idea of who Metatron is more than when we started, but it does give you an idea and understand the possibilities of knowing us deeper through knowing yourself. The consciousness that's within us is all of you. We are a collective of every single human being that exists right now. That's a part of our collective consciousness. And the part of you that is physical has a part of us built into you. So we are each other, and we are the Metatron. We're happy to take questions.
Thanks, Metatron, and hello, and welcome. You're very welcome here. And thank you for everything that you do for us here on Earth. I have a question about Source. How do you describe all that is and Source? And can you?
Yes, we can give you a definition, but your question had the definition in it already. All that is. Everything that exists is source energy. Earth is one very small part of that. The universe in its totality is a small part of that. Multiple universes in near infinite perspectives and infinite varieties exist, and all of those are part of all that is. Now, we understand the perspectives you were given yesterday by Rob himself share the difficulties of looking through a perspective of all that is, then asking the entity of Ardif and Treb, asking them what all that is, with Ardif explaining to you that it's hard to understand all that is because there's only one focus at a time. We agree with that. But again, when you go back to understanding the internal parts of your consciousness, the energy inside of you, this gives you the perspective of all that is, even though you're only able to experience that little piece of all that is in that life. We assure you as souls, you have all that is available to you. And incarnating into different experiences gives you another small piece of that puzzle. But time as the linear structure doesn't exist. Everything exists now. So you've already experienced everything in all that is as a generalized soul because you are part of all that is. The relay of information that comes from the human consciousness back into their higher selves, back into the higher levels of consciousness beyond that, the oversouls, the collective consciousnesses per se, this gives that information to all that is. But you yourself are one incarnation of another person. That means that you and Rob are the same consciousness in two different incarnations. This means that Rob has been you and you have been Rob. That means all of you have been each other. You just don't have that focus for your reality in this life.
Thank you. And what can you say about the timeline of Earth that we're on now, the precession timeline that we're on?
What is there to be said? Right now, all of you are sharing a shared experience, and that experience is very well known to you. What we can tell you is that this is an important part for Earth's experience. A level of growth and development is happening with humans right now, but that can be said of every time frame that has ever been on Earth. And also remember that all of the other time frames are also in this moment just outside of that linear time perspective. So the part of Earth that you're dealing with now, the part of the timeline that you're dealing with now is the Earth consciousness manifest in a way that you needed to have it for this experience. So this is your personal timeline, and your personal timelines, and Rob's personal timeline. And all of you are converging through shared excitements here.
Thank you. And I've heard you talk with other transmissions that you've given through Rob about reality creation and manifestation. And you've given a really interesting perspective for people who consider themselves quite spiritual, doing the work, but we still can't seem to manifest everything we want. Could you talk us through how it works and I guess maybe where we might get stuck?
The places where humans get stuck eventually is always within the mental energies, but the places that often are assumed to be stuck are also not necessarily a stuck manifestation. We understand you think that you want to have a certain thing for a certain reason, but many times there's nuances there. The unconsciousness behind your desires can come from feelings of lack or separation. Those feelings themselves are already starting to block the creation that you desire. So then you create a belief system around that that might say, I want to have money, but what you actually want is happiness. And then you also have belief systems that tell you that money will not buy you happiness. Money is the root of all evil. Money is a bad thing. Or maybe you have gotten rid of some of those beliefs, but still feel that only money is the solution to your happiness. So you've created a complex tapestry of belief systems and resistances to create a barrier from that creation point. Many humans that feel they're going through resistance are actually going through something that they're creating to prevent them from manifesting something they don't want. When you want happiness, and money is the thought that you have, and the money actually would create less happiness for you, then you won't create that, because the deepest desire is to be happy. The perspective that the range of manifestations that can come into a small area becomes limiting. If you say, I just want to be happy, and that is my goal, now you've opened millions of possibilities, nearly infinite possibilities of way to manifest that happiness. But when you say, I want to be happy, and that will happen only with money, you are producing a very small window for you to manifest through. This is similar to the observer effect that you have in quantum physics. You understand that when you look at something and focus on that the particle will have a very small window of producing itself visibly. But when you don't observe it, then the pattern becomes all probabilities. And this is the same as narrow and wide manifestations. Putting your manifestational energy on only one thing gives you only a possible small amount of results. But allowing yourself the understanding behind those desires gives you a much wider frame of reference. It gives the manifestation possibilities more endless ways to manifest.
And when we manifest a disease, something like cancer, as an example, what's going on, and are we creating that?
Yes, so cancer is an illness, and this can be created through a need to grow and to process, or from having vibrations that are against your natural settings. The natural setting of the physical body, the chakra system, and your DNA are all dealing with love. The vibration of love is an endless positive feeling emotions. Happiness, joy, excitement all come from love. What's disconnected from love is the negative emotions. Fear comes from a lack of love. Anger, jealousy, all come from a lack of love, whether it's a lack of love for yourself or others. So the two emotional vibrations that humans hold will exist with love and without. And some humans become ill simply because they vibrate outside of love. They vibrate in the frequency that is not love. Others require the experience of having cancer either to end their life because their life is done at that moment at a soul level. They're done experiencing Earth as a whole, and also sometimes humans are tired of living. And in their own perspective, it would be much easier for them to die of a disease instead of running their car off the side of a road. Then their family would be sad that they left me intentionally. At least with cancer, there's a reason why I died. It saves face of that person. And the complexity behind the belief systems that humans hold is very deep. Many subconscious energies work at the background. So this idea that I'm tired of living life, but I also don't want to harm myself, this can manifest cancer. Also, a soul desiring to have a very radical experience to shift the trajectory of that person can also create cancer. And when they get cancer, what will their instincts tell them? Their instincts tell them that they should heal that cancer. So going through natural healing processes or going through Western medical healing processes put them in a different trajectory for that life. And when they experience that new trajectory, this gives them a very strong change in their lifestyle. And that's what the cancer was for. So it's a different reason for each different human who receives it.
Thank you. As someone who's lost someone to cancer, and lots of people have, I find that very helpful. And I do want to pass the mic around to the audience soon, and also if there's questions from online. Just one more question for me for now is, do we have angels and a soul family? And you know, I hear that we do, but what's your perspective on that? Do we have individual angels and soul families looking after us individually?
Yes, first of all, what is an angel? Now, some humans say a spiritual being that watches over me. Well, there are many of those types also. There are humans who have passed on. There are extraterrestrial beings. There are also beings that exist in the creative level, such as ourselves. We wouldn't say that we watch over you, but we're always there for you. We're there in supportive roles and manifestational roles. When you ask for our energy, which is already inside of you, which is already a part of you, to come to the surface for a certain reason, that vibration helps the creative process. Many humans use rituals for this. They say, I need Archangel Michael to cut the ribbons of the connection to another human that I have because the relationship is not good and my energy is being taken from them. So they will create the ritual process and call upon the energy, and that helps with the energy. Now, guardian angels are another concept, but many times these are just spirits in multiple different forms or ways that are working with you. All of you have beings who work with you. Sometimes these beings work with you for just a small part of your life, a theme that you're going through, a possible scenario that you need assistance with or support with. These beings will be there. You have others that will follow you for your entire life. Family members who have passed on, souls that have incarnated with you in previous lifetimes that loved you enough to just watch over you for this lifetime. And angels can be any of those. They are guarding you, they are helping you, they are watching over you. Now, this idea also gives you some aspects of your energy that are going into sharing your energy with other beings. If you ask these beings, can you watch over me and help assist me, you are also putting yourself in a position to give that energy away to another being. You are telling them that I don't feel safe enough on my planet, in my life, where I do need someone. And then you give that power or energy to them. This is a two-sided blade, or a double-edged sword is the words. And this energy can be very helpful in times of incantation or ritual, but also can be harmful if you feel that all of these beings will do all of the things for you at all the times. So understand accordingly that these beings who are there for you are there for your support, and you can call on them at any time. But they will not fix the problems for you in life. They will not do the actions of change required for you to do. They will not help you evolve without your desire and actions to evolve also.
So that it comes back to our own inner power and authority.
Yes, as all things as being a physical being do and require.
I love that. It would be great to pass the mic around to the audience.
Could you explain how pain could be the portal? A lot of us, including myself, have had experienced a lot of pain and trauma in my life, and I've started to understand Eckhart Tolle when he talks about the pain body, and people who've experienced a lot of violence in their life get stuck at that subconscious identity we attach to it. But actually, I've started to understand it's the portal, and it's the gift not only for yourself but potentially humanity, and to lean into that. Could you explain, or because I'm not quite there yet, so I'd like you to help me get there.
Yes, the pain itself is a great motivator of change, just as love is. Now, we don't understand the concept behind the portal idea. We have not been familiarized with that. Rob has never heard this, so we don't have access to that idea. We understand the concept, though. The concept is that when you perceive pain as a negative experience, when you perceive yourself as always being a part of pain, then you bring your victimized energy to the surface. You continuously tell yourself with both thought and belief that I always have bad things. I can never get ahead. I will always be the victim of this circumstance. I will always be a victim to other people or other experiences. This creates the manifestational energy to open more possibility for your suffering. But when humans understand that the pain is there as a motivator, that this pain that comes to you for a reason. Now, we'll give you different examples because there are different types of pain. Losing a loved one. This is pain for all of you. Eventually, when you realize that souls are never gone, that the person who was a soul that you knew and loved isn't gone, then pain goes away. But until that process, it's a stark reminder to you that this life is not an eternal life, that this life is one manifestation or incarnation of a life, and that energy alone brings you the pain. You're going to miss this person. You're going to not feel their presence the same way. That pain is a motivator. It tells you that I need to make sure that I'm using this life for good ways. I too will no longer be this one person that I am now, and I will make the best of it. Okay, so pain is the motivator. Now, pain in other forms. I feel bad because I didn't get a raise. I'm in pain right now. I'm suffering financially. I'm doing things in life that are very difficult. That pain is a different type of motivator. This is a pain caused by the belief systems you have about your values, the belief systems that you have about the process of work, where you work, how you work, what work you do. Many times this teacher comes along to you to push you in a new direction, or to push you into a direction where you remove the beliefs that you have in order to receive new things. So this is a pain. It is a motivator. This is telling you that what you're thinking and feeling around this subject is not in alignment with yourself, not with the true you. And when you see that and when you understand that, then the whole paradigm changes. But most people don't understand that. They only understand the pain itself. So, using that pain, using the energy of pain through your emotional understanding, recognizing that each time you receive pain, there are multiple beliefs, multiple thoughts, and multiple experiences that are around that pain that you can shift. And this will not ever guarantee you that you'll never feel that pain again, but it does guarantee you that you can realign yourself towards less pain the next time. And eventually, when you have gone through all of those very strong belief systems that cause pain inside of you, you now have a new opportunity to experience releasing yourself from the rules and regulations of those bad beliefs. This is the pain motivation. This is the energy of pain and how it works.
I have a question from Andrew in the UK who's on the live stream. He asks, I hear a lot that there will be contact from ETs in the next year. What can you tell us about that? And what will this contact look or feel like?
There may be. That's up to you. As an entire species, you're the one that decides when you join that galactic society. There are possibilities of it being 1 hour from now, 10 minutes from now, 1 second after we say the sentence. But there are also possibilities it could take 100, 200, 300 years. These actions are all within your control. And all that it means when extraterrestrials do come is that you figured out how to be a global society. Right now, there are still country divisions. There are still political divisions. There are still divisions for race. The color of your skin is still a division for some. These things have to be accounted for before you can join a galactic civilization as a planetary civilization. So there's still work to be done.
Hi there. My question, and maybe tied into the last one a bit, is how we should be thinking about right and wrong. You talked about the unity of us as a species, and I think there are a lot of things that are, again, are they right or are they wrong, but are very conflicting today and have been across history. But there's also a line of thinking around things just they are as they are. Is there a good and a bad? Are there positive energies and negative? Or is it that history unfolds as it should?
History unfolds as it should, as it's created. The history you know about isn't even present in this moment in your time perspective, but is happening right now. So even now, you're kind of creating your own history. So we want you to understand, is there such thing as bad and good? No. Is there such thing as right or wrong? No. Is there such thing as positive or negative? No. What there is the consciousness of collectiveness and the consciousness of disconnection. If you want consciousness to be connected, that means you observe the free will of others. It means you're kind to others. It means that you allow others, as long as they are allowing others also. It is a frequency of sharing, a frequency of understanding, a frequency of openness that connects. The disconnective is where you impede the rights of others, where you say that your belief is more important and punish them by societally shunning them, or physical violence, or death, or wars, or all of the other creative ways humans have experienced this before with others that they don't resonate with or appreciate. So the disconnection in its process is what needs to be solved for Earth to be more connected. And of course, it will be gradated through the experience, a little at a time here, this level there, and it will continue. But go outside of this lifetime. When you're done with this lifetime, the version of Earth you experience will be nothing like this. The version of Earth you experience will be a past with no future, a future with no past, some other point or frequency in the Earth vibration. And it's important to remember that each of the lifetimes that you have to make the decisions based on the internal processes. If you believe that what you are doing comes with love, then you should do that. But you should also recognize that love isn't a selfish thing. That love doesn't say, my perspective is correct and yours isn't. That's the type of vibration that helps Earth become a connected Earth instead of a more disconnected. There are both versions in your future. Both of them exist. Both versions of Earth will be manifest in a linear future. Both the experience of a very disconnected, much more deeply disconnected Earth, and one where everyone finally connects together. And both of those exist, and you'll have your chance to play with them again.
With me for 5 years now, and talking about the polarity of light and dark and positive and negative. And obviously we've got archangels and we've got good ETs, but as personally have felt the psychic attack or intrusions of the other side, and why this is happening to certain individuals, especially people that are light and trying to spread their light as light workers. I feel like there is that polarity, and as the light is trying to rise, there's also it can become jeopardized by the infiltration of dark trying to stifle that light, and essentially how to stop this, because it does keep on coming in, and it's something that I usually can't clear by myself, and I've had lots of lovely healers to combat this, but in some ways it feels like it's driving me crazy, and it's very few people that I've connected to outside of the healing world that have experienced this. So not just why me, but why us, and how to essentially shut that down and prevent it. Because from the first time it's happened, it's 5-6 years now that it just keeps on coming in. It's like, yeah.
So first of all, we'll tell you that conflict exists externally because it does internally. And this doesn't mean that you're the cause of all the bad things that are happening. What we mean is that you have militaries, governments that are suppressing the greater public. You have systems put in place on Earth that suppress large groups of people for many reasons. That exists because the entire collective is still trying to work out its internal conflict. So there has to be a conflict externally to represent that, to give you back the mirror image of what's happening internally. So with what you're experiencing right now, you are still having a difficulty fighting the good and bad inside of you. There are parts of your past that you might see as bad now that you have judgments about. You haven't forgiven yourself for those times. This is common. Rob goes through this process frequently with the past that he's had. This is common for all humans. You don't like the person you were, and that's a conflict. So what happens externally is beings who exist, who are frequencies of negativity or suppression, find that vibration inside of you, the vibration of not having balance with your darkness and lightness, because all of you have that inside of you. And when it sees that you want, require, desire, have a very specific intention only to engage with that light energy, that's the opening. That's the part where they can come in and connect to your energy more deeply. Does this mean that they own you or can do whatever they want with you? No, it can be as simple as you coming to peace with yourself, with you coming to peace with the past of yourself, with the parts of you that are dark. This is hard. We understand very deeply through the experiences of all of you. We understand that this isn't an easy ask, but it is important. Once you fix that part of you internally, the external part can't exist. Then when this being tries to connect to your energy, all they'll get is a protective field. All they'll get is your energy saying, no, I'm not playing this game with you. And all of your souls have that level of divinity. All of your souls can prevent you from being attacked psychically, can prevent you from being possessed by other beings, can prevent you from having others' energy affect you, even when you're highly empathic, even when you're very sensitive. Fixing the energy imbalance that shows inside of your aura field that allows them in is the fix. So some practical ways you can do this. Go back into the experience of what you saw inside of yourself you didn't like. Work with that energy by giving it love. If you need to use a visualization process, this can be very powerful. Imagine yourself sitting there. Imagine the version of you don't like sitting across from you. Tell that version you love them. Tell that version it's okay, that they were going through a different time with different beliefs, a different circumstances, a difficult experience in front of them, and allow them to share with you whatever they're feeling. And then give back that love continuously, repetitively. This will help rebalance that trauma internally.
Good evening, Metatron. With the past
Greetings.
as it was, and the future as it will be, and as we stand in the infinite now, what is one thing that you could tell us to help us integrate into the now, integrate into our true highest identity, and release both expectations from the past and in the future?
Yes, this is what we've always called finding the center of yourself. This is the central circle. All right, perceive yourself as 7 chakras. What's in the center? The heart chakra. All right? See about the way you feel. Your feet are on the ground, going into the earth. Your head is into the ether, into the connected consciousness above, into the grid system. And what is the center? Your heart. This is the part of you that has the most power. So to be the best you, to be the version of you that both can experience being in the now solidly and can experience being present with yourself, this is the part of you that is the joy, the passion, the love. This is something that all of you practice all of the time. None of you have ever completed the full love life checkoff list. This is an impossible task to ask you. You're going to live through life with experiences that grate against you. You're going to go into life with experiences of others that bump into your experience and create all sorts of reactions from old traumas. And that's fine. But being able to rebalance yourself into the heart. What that means is, what should you be doing right now? What you're most passionate about, what your heart tells you, what your heart aligns with. All of you have one excitement that's larger than the rest of them. Are you doing your excitement? Are you living in that passion? Even if you can't do it, and we say can't in quotes, even if you can't do it, are you doing things adjacent to it? Are you doing things around it? Are you doing things to the circle closest to the center circle? And if you're not, you should be. Going through each difficulty in your life, understanding that something that you're doing is either taking you closer to that joy or further away. This is how you navigate the central circle. When it brings you more joy, when it brings you more happiness, then go to that direction. And once you lived in that moment, when you lived that vibration for a while, rebalance yourself. Find out, are you truly in your center? Okay, these new things make me happy. Am I more happy with this thing or the other thing? And go towards what makes you most happy. If it's the same thing that you're doing, then you found your circle. If it's other things, then go explore those. And when you're done with that, ask, was the last thing that I was doing more exciting than what I'm doing now, or do I need to find something else? And go there. If you do this, you're both present and fulfilling your highest soul's desire. And when you're fulfilling your highest soul's desire, then you are literally doing what your soul came here to do. That's the key.
Did anyone else want to ask any questions? Otherwise, I will. Anyone? Anyone? Yeah, Jenya? In the meantime, I'll ask a quick question just about what you were just saying. When you are following your passion, I guess we worry that following our passion might lead to us being broke. Now, I know you said that you've got to expand your version of what happiness is, not relate it to money. But how do we have the courage, I guess, to step forward, follow it, and will we be supported with abundance from all that is?
So if you can trust fully, you'll always be supported. But most humans can't do that. Most humans walk through life with a hope to do that. All right, so one thing that we're sharing now, we actually found great value in Rob's perspective on this. There was a human being who asked Rob, should I go into my spiritual business? The job I have now pays well. My spiritual business is an unknown. He said, well, if you're excited, yes. He goes, I'm excited, but I'm afraid. Okay, so if you're afraid, what can you do? You take the practical steps to assure you that you can go in that direction. What do you need to take the practical steps? You need proof. Humans' mental energy requires proof. Give yourself that proof. Keep your job. Every spare moment you have, work towards that spiritual business. Every spare moment you have of excitement, put towards that energy. You will see that grow. It has to grow. It's your passion. You're putting time into it. You're going to see it grow. It may take 1 month. It may take 1 year. It may take 5 years. Eventually, you will start noticing that the extra time and energy you put into this passion has proven to you that it can sustain the same financial energy as your old job, then your old job is worthless. Now, if you have a true faith, if you have that part of you that doesn't require faith, that just knows this is what I need to do, so I am going to do it, and you step forward and do it, you'll be proven through each step. Every time you do something, the next step that you take in passion shows you this is the right direction. Even if it's a very small and subtle thing. I spoke to a friend who I wanted to invite to a party because the party is my excitement. When you invite that friend, the first conversation you have is one that you knew was an important conversation to have. You didn't have to bring it up, this person did, and now you have your own resonance. You have proof in that moment that something you needed to happen was going to happen. So you take your next step. And when you say, let's work together and create this great business, and both of you start working towards that great business, another person comes along where you might be having problems, just in the right time with the same excitement. This proves to you that you're doing the right thing. If you allow yourself to look for that proof in your experience, you'll always find it.
Yeah. Hello. Thank you. I have a few questions. Is there some way that we can help Metatron?
Is there a way to help us?
Yeah.
You're doing it now. You're living. This is our help. This is what helps us. Your experience teaches us. Each of your experience teaches us, and not just me, all of the creative energies. The experience that you're having now helps us more than you can know. We understand what it's like to be human through your experience. So you are helping us. Thank you for asking.
Thank you, Metatron. I think we could keep going, me alone and a lot of others. Thank you so much, Metatron, for your wisdom, for looking over us, for sharing your energy with us. And we will continue to connect with you. Thank you for being here.
Salutations then, and we will leave as the Metatron. Thank all of you for being a great part of our learning experience. And our own energy inside of you is the learning experience to learn, to pull towards your heart in the center. Thank you.
Thank you. Hey, welcome back.
Hey.
Hi, how do you feel?
All right, how'd it go?
Oh, great.
Good.
Excellent. Wow, that was fantastic. Does anyone want to share some feelings about it or ask Rob any questions? All of us here, we do a lot of our spiritual work, so we feel like, all of the things here is giving a different perspective on things that give us, just that little bit more of a piece to the puzzle. At least it did for me. So, Rob, thank you so much, and
Sure.
thank you. I found that extremely special. I love Metatron.
Good. I'm glad to hear.
Yeah, and thanks everyone who asked questions as well, and obviously, yeah.
Maybe I can just say it from
Yeah.
here. Like this, yeah?
I can repeat it.
In sacred geometry, we have a symbol for Metatron. Is that the right one?
From what I know, every piece of geometry, sacred geometry, is connected to him somehow, but I think I know what you're talking about, like the Metatron cube. Yeah, that's one that was brought through by someone who embodied him very deeply. So that's like the most connected or sacred version. Yeah. Good question, yeah. I haven't channeled his geometric aspect of him yet, but I'm dying to, because I'm a nerd and I want to know everything about it. So.
Yeah, you mentioned yesterday that you channel one part of Metatron, and it's the part that's connected mostly to Earth. Is that right?
Right,
Yeah.
and I think that reason is because that's the part I need the most.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So that's the part I'm going to channel.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, thanks so much, Rob. And I think we're going to take a short break before we have Debbie Solaris, who's joining us via live stream from the US.